Now it's time to see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
What an incredible Cinderella story, this unknown. Oh, he got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here.
Welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Daily and Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daily & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
Coming this fall to a podcast platform near you. The Wingmen.
There's someone on the wing. Something.
Join us live every week this football season as Kirk Pierce, Johnny Johnson, and Brad Kimbrough talk James Clemens sports with coaches, players, and other special guests. The Wingmen.
We're winging it, Jerry.
This fall on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app on your Alexa device by saying Open PAS Plus and online at pasplus.net.
Hey, this is West Limestone Boys basketball coach Justin Taylor, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Good Saturday morning, and welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Here located on the corner of Highway 72 West and I-65. Man, it's a beautiful morning. It's going to be a little bit warmer day. This is a great day. It's Alabama Final Four night. It's WrestleMania night. And this is Todd, the Body, the Talent, Tomlin, along with Coach Clint Legg and producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. I'm sitting in the big chair today for Tomcat McClung, who's gone down to watch the Auburn A-Day game. And so, Tom, if you're listening, I guess, and this will be the only time I'd ever say this, I guess I hope your team wins. The orange or white or whatever, blue and orange or whatever.
Maybe they will.
Maybe they will. It'd be fun if it was a tie. But anyway, safe travels, buddy. Have a good time. Man, we got a big show lined up. It's Limestone County Hall of Fame season. And we're going to have Jeff Hodges and April Davis from the Limestone County Hall of Fame on to talk about the new inductees, another great group that they've selected. We'll also be joined by our SEC guru, A.P. Steadham, our Havoc hookup, Clay Coleman, and NBA Hall of Famer, Sidney Moncrief. I look forward to hearing him and all the great things that he's got going on currently, and obviously all the wonderful things that he's done in the past. Can't wait to talk to him.
You only had a son that played football down here at Troy.
Yeah, played at Troy, and then Mississippi Valley or whatever before that, and then
think.
Let's see who else. He's got another son, Jeffrey, that plays college ball or did somewhere. We'll have to ask him about that. But, fellas, how are y'all this morning?
Real good, man. Really excited about this Hall of Fame. Man, there's some good guys in that, man, as I look through that in the paper.
Yeah, every year I keep on thinking I'm going to get that call or a letter or however they tell you.
It's coming.
But
it's coming. Just remember, man,
I know like 10 people nominated me. And
Barry Devine always tells me this, Todd. He said, there's a lot of people that's well deserving of it, but you got to nominate them.
That's right.
You got to get online. You got to nominate them. Because that's how you get in. I mean, it's not because there's a lot of people that deserve it.
But and the thing with that is, and we've talked about this off air and on air, like especially some of the people that even came before us during our time and even maybe after, they're like they've contributed so much, whether it was coaching, community type guy, or obviously athlete. We just assume somebody's already nominated them, right? Because they are so well deserving. And then next thing you know, you're kind of like talking about, was so-and-so nominated? They're like, nobody's ever turned in their name. But you got probably 20 people out there all thinking the same thing, that Joe or Billy or Sally all nominated them. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. If you think that you've got somebody that's deserving, I'm sure you can just Google Limestone County Hall of Fame and it'll take you to their webpage and fill out that.
And the board can't nominate them.
No, the board cannot nominate.
They wait for the public to nominate.
That's right.
Vote on it, I guess. Or pick. They're the ones that kind of narrow the field down. So,
and so it's gonna be good. We'll have to scold them a little bit for the news courier scooping us this year.
I'm gonna say it one more time, man. One of my favorite Athens guys made it, so I'm gonna hold on, let them announce it.
Okay, you're gonna let them announce it. Okay, and then we can talk about it.
One of my favorites.
Well, good deal. Well, there's a lot going on in sports around here in Limestone County. So with that said, it is time for
Scores and more.
All righty, had some baseball yesterday. James Clemens swept a doubleheader over Florence, 14-3 and 4-3. Athens was all over Mae Jemison, 17-0. West Limestone beat Giles County 5-1, and ABS lost to Whitesburg Christian 11-1. Boys soccer, Ardmore lost against West Point 9-0, but the Lady Tigers won 4-1. Hazel Green JV girls beat Elkmont 9-0. And let's see, in softball, ABS got by Bell Green 10-8, and then lost to Colbert Heights 6-4. James Clemens lost to Lawrence County 14-1, but then turned around and beat East Lawrence 11-7. So those are the scores I've got. As far as the Moore part goes, next week we will be live at the James Clemens Jetsplex. We've got a doubleheader to cover starting at 1, so I need to go ahead and be set up for that there. But we will also have Jason Simpson talking about casting and catching out there.
Nice. Yeah, I have him on every year.
Yeah.
He does great things with that.
And later on we'll be live at Lucy's Barge, I think the week after that. And coming up a week or two later, we'll be live at Athens Cars and Bikes on the Square.
Man, ATGT on the road. I like it.
Hey, Todd, you guys don't forget today. It's going on all day out there at Tanner. The county tournament in softball is going on with the championship game later on. I know West has made it to the championship to play who. It's East, it's Clements, could be East, could be Clements, could be it's all of them. Ardmore,
Hootie,
Elkmont.
Think it might be if you had a guess. Are they all pretty relatively close?
I'll say
it's going
to be between if I had to put to bed, I'd say Ardmore is real good, but man, East is getting better and Elkmont's pretty decent, and
so they all have a chance.
See if Clemens can hit some. We shall see, but I'd say I don't know, but other night my daughters and West Limestone Wildcats, they beat Ardmore 6-1, left about 7 or 8 on base. And on the way home, that's what I preached. I said, you can't do that. It's going to come back and haunt you one of these
Always
nights.
Always does. It's going to put you in a predicament if your Clements Colts get in there.
No, it won't. It won't put me in a predicament because I'm going to pull for my daughters.
There you go. You got to, man.
I'm a Clements guy. I want Clements to win and my daughters to do good. Does that make sense?
There you go. That makes great sense. Before we go to break, I want to tell you, look for us on Facebook at Applebee's Tailgate Talk and on Instagram at Tailgate Talk AL, and also that's on X. Visit us online at tailgatetalk.net to get scores and archives of past shows. You can also vote on this week's Athlete of the Week poll and enter nominations for future polls as well. Just find the links to download the PASS Plus for your Android and iOS devices. You can follow us on Tailgate Talk Podcast on iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, Google, and other platforms. Actually, we're going to have to take the Google off, man, because they are eliminating their podcast.
That's
stuff.
true. That's true. Yeah, so, we're migrating to YouTube Music.
Nice.
As far as the podcast part of it goes.
You can hear us on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus. Call or text us during the show at 256-812-1TGT. That's 256-812-1848. And our calling guests come via the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. And the special guest segment is sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing. We always appreciate all our sponsors. Couldn't do this without them. And we just, besides what the products they sell and the services they perform, we greatly appreciate all that. So I guess with all that, we're going to take us a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Elijah Goins from Athens Bible School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street. Open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Join us this spring for James Clemens baseball and softball from Play Action Sports. Hear action from the Jets and Lady Jets online at PASnetwork.net, on your PAS Plus app, or on your Alexa device by saying Open PAS Plus. If you miss it, you can also catch up on the online archives and hear select games Sundays at noon on WKAC Radio. James Clemens baseball and softball this season from Play Action Sports and 1080 WKAC.
Hey, this is Charles Morrison, varsity baseball coach with Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
I'm all about that action. 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 I said I'm all about that action.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're currently being joined by our ACC guru, who we appreciate so much, AP Steadham. AP, how you doing this morning, bud?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So glad to be on Applebee's Tailgate Talk, WKC 1080 AM, Athens, Alabama.
Well, man, appreciate you joining us. It's a little bit earlier where you're at than it is here in Athens, Alabama. What time is it there? About is it 8:14 or 7?
8:30 or so, right?
Okay, yeah, there we go. So I assume you made it out there, and I bet the crowd's already starting to file in. And
a few of them. Yeah, they can check out everything I've done. I interviewed everybody from all the teams. Great. It's all on my website. spent a lot of time with Grant and Aaron and a number of players from Alabama and North Carolina State. Talked to the assistant coach who really developed Zach Edey.
Nice.
Every team we spoke, it's all there. I put it individually on my Facebook page and my show page and personal page, and then we have the links on the Instagram as well. Yeah. And I don't even know how many videos are there. I haven't had a chance to count them.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. I know it's keeping you really busy, but at the same time, it's got to be enjoyable to be able to talk to all these different guys. And
yeah, it's fun. It's fun to meet all of them and talk to them, and everybody has a different perspective, and everybody's been very, very good.
Okay.
I can't say there's been anybody that's been not forthcoming, really.
Okay, well, great. Have you ran into any of the older players from different teams that you've maybe interviewed, in the past 10, 15 years ago?
Well, I saw Richard Hendricks, and then we had on our show this past week, Derek McKee said Derek should be out here. He said he was going to be here today, so hopefully I'll run into him and a few other players I spoke to. We're going to try to, get together to see each one of them. So I'm looking forward to how many people are going to show up from the former teams.
I saw Robert Ory in the crowd the other night.
Yeah.
Robert should be here. It's a short trip from Los Angeles.
Speaking of Robert, I don't even know if I have no idea where I even saw this, but it was real recent. Do you know anything about the passing of his daughter, and if it's been recently or if it was a while back? Or
that was a while back.
Okay,
it sure was. That was a while back. Yeah, I remember when Robert was inducted. I interviewed him at the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, and his daughter, I believe, was still alive at that time. Okay. I'm almost positive because I saw her. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a while. I don't remember the exact time. I couldn't tell you with certainty. Yeah.
So is the crowd starting to really thicken up? Is the time obviously tonight's the night. So like you got out there Wednesday?
Got out here Wednesday, and then they had some of the crowd yesterday. All the teams watching practice. So I took some pictures of those things. I believe I took pictures of the Alabama people in the crowd, and it's fun. I'm sure they sold all their tickets. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But this is their first time. It's nice to visit Phoenix in April.
Sure.
AP, just straight up, you think? Do we have a chance? Do we have a chance against?
UConn
Huskies.
Yeah. When I spoke to Nate Oates, I asked him the question if there's any UConn early part of the program in Alabama's program. He said, of course, there's some similarities. And the second question I weaved in there, I asked him, what do you say to your team in general about a supreme shot blocker? And right away, those numbers came out of his head and his mouth. 0-19, Illinois at the rim. So he said, I don't think we're going to do that. So, that's my critical concern, because when 50% of your offense is at the rim, that's your goal, right?
Yep. Should be.
And so now, what's your ultimate plan if you have a supreme shot blocker? So, Aaron Estrada, I guess he has the green light to take the non-rim twos. But what about everybody else? Is there going to be a flurry of threes in this ball game? Yep. And he's going to allow everybody else to take some non-rim twos? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Do we try to take it to them early to get them in a little foul trouble? Obviously, you're going to get a few shots swatted back if you do, which, whoop you do.
Right.
But, you've got to do something to disrupt them, but at the same time, I'm more concerned about us sitting out there taking 35 threes. And if we hit them, great, but
to give somebody a free pass, I think you do have to challenge them a few times early, as you said.
Yeah, just see.
Maybe you might get lucky, a couple fouls, boom, boom.
Yep. And then,
whistle.
Yep, and if they're sitting over there on the bench, then the lane opens up and you can start, going to the hole a little bit better. But
so I think he said that we're not going to try to come at the rim like normal, but I just have a feeling, I don't know if that's a smoke screen, because after I spoke to him on Thursday, he came out with that 0-19. All the players, they mentioned it to me. 0 for 19, 0 for 19. I heard that from a number of them when I was questioning them yesterday.
Yep.
Yes, so I'm not positive. I understand, 0-19, that's zero success, but you can't give somebody that big of a pass, I don't believe.
No, absolutely not.
It's like having a good receiver, and they have a superstar cornerback, but you don't throw it his way. You don't even never test him.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Going to Purdue game, NC State, it's an intriguing matchup between DJ Burns and Zach Edey. Poor DJ can't jump 6 inches off the ground. Now he's a wide body, but how do you foresee that matchup?
Yeah, he's going to have to get into his body, but, I mean, he is 280 or so pounds himself.
Yep.
So DJ, I think, is in the 275 range, so that's quite similar. And I think I did ask one of the players on North Carolina State, when you're in that lane, you're playing against Zach Edey, subconsciously or consciously, do you loft the ball a little bit higher with your arc? Yeah, we did, most definitely. That's in our minds.
Yeah.
So, but the thing about Zach Edey, I mean, he's good for 30, probably.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he's gonna get 15 just from a free throw line.
There was somebody told me this, and maybe you can check this. Edey over 400 free throws. DJ under 100.
Wow. I wouldn't doubt it, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
because
I think for a lot of the season, I mean, I saw NC State play earlier in the year, and they didn't seem to he wasn't like their number one option. I mean, you know what I mean, as far as offense. Yes. So, which Edey is, I mean, he's got to get a touch every time down the court, multiple touches in one possession. So, I could probably see that. And I think Edey's gone to the free throw line far and away by more than anybody else in the NCAA.
That's a significant number. 100, less than 100 to over 400. I was told by some people that cover Purdue that if they don't make turnovers, they'll beat you.
Yeah, well, I mean, their guards are good. I mean, they've got. I think they shoot pretty well percentage from. I think it's 40+% from 3-pointers, and so I mean they're all around team. It's not just Zach Edey for sure.
No, that's some good shot makers, because I think Alabama and Connecticut are both around 36, 37 from the 3-point range. So you shooting 40, you're a top team,
Oh, absolutely. I tell you what, though, and I know Edey takes a lot of punishment, but man, well, like last game, he didn't even pick up his first foul until about 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the second half. Half. You can't tell me a dude is playing down that low.
Yes.
That's his first foul of the game. And if people will just watch him and focus on him, like when the ball goes in the air, my man's really sneaky about putting his hands and his knees and body up, and like right before somebody's getting ready to jump for the rebound, he'll give them that little nudge right above their rear and get them off balance.
Get that hip movement. Sure does. Yeah,
and they never call it.
Good player.
Yeah. He's absolutely a good player. But
player of the year again too. That's the second time. So.
Yeah.
So
and,
that's pretty
he
impressive.
deserves it.
But Alabama's got a chance. They got ball in the basket, right?
Yep.
We always start the conversation, ball in the basket. You can have the game on in the background, not even watching, but just listening. If your team's not putting it in the basket, you're not winning.
No.
It's that simple. You're not winning.
I heard two separate analysts say that in order for us to even have a prayer, that we'd have to hit probably a minimum of 15 threes. That's their take. So.
Right. I mean, Connecticut's a strong team. They score 80. Alabama scores 90. But defensively, is it the 54 half defense or the 33 point half defense that they played against North Carolina? Which team's going to show up defensively? But I think they understand they can get run up the court.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If they don't show up defensively.
And to me, not to sound like a loser, and I don't want to sound like one. But, man, has it not been a great year for Alabama basketball?
Oh, we're a basketball school, man. We're a basketball school.
No, we're not. Anyway.
They made the Final Four, and, they had a nice path. They had to beat Carolina, the number one team in that side. And then you play a team that you played closely during the season, Clemson. Yep. And this team seems to be coachable. And they made some adjustments and shot the ball much better, because I think the first game it was maybe 35 to 55 or something like 35 to 54. So they didn't shoot the ball, and they still scored. I think it was 70. We're 70-something. They lost by 6 or 7 points to Clemson at home.
AP Todd, maybe since they've done so good that they'll work on getting them a new gym or something down there that's rather than the one that's been there for 7 years. You
don't like that. You don't like that Coleman, huh? I'm telling you, man. I don't know what it is, but when you have 15,000 people and you're going to gyms at 8,000, 9,000, man, that's more money, more people. I don't know. I always like Coleman.
Sound like you and me are the minority. I've always loved Coleman. I know it's not as intimate as some of the, like Auburn arenas of the world and all that, but and that place gets really loud. But just take Coleman and maybe do something internally with it, and if you have to play your home games away for
I'm
one
good
year.
with that, but at least fix it. Bring it into the modern world.
What's the issue with it? Not close enough to the court, or what are some of the things?
I think that's what I hear a lot. Is like it's just not, because a lot of these newer arenas. I mean, you're right there on the stinking floor, man. I mean, depending on where you're at in Coleman, if you're not on the sides, you're kind of elevated, risen up a little bit high and all that.
But I hadn't been in Coleman since we played there for the state tournament, so. They at least don't have that old
rubber floor
that they used to have then.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of basketball arenas, and I like it. I like Coleman Coliseum. It's a good seat most places. I enjoy it.
So we need to make sure we send both UConn teams home. I didn't watch the game last night, but I heard about the end of it. It was
it was hard. Did you see the end of the game last night?
Well, I did up from a distance, but they showed us the footwork. I mean, she did slide over there.
It was a
Did
foul.
you not see her slide over there?
I thought she was set.
It was a foul.
I thought she was set.
Ooh, really? I mean, they showed her feet sliding over there.
Yeah,
when the gal's on the move. Really? Okay.
I mean, I guarantee you that happened 10 times in that game, Clint, and they didn't call it the other 9.
I mean, but I'm for Iowa. So. Right. Now, I tell you what, man, Gino once again does a great job with 7 players.
Yeah.
He's the greatest, man.
Yeah.
But usually it's 7.
Yeah, that's and by the way, just go on the record. Caitlin Clark, in my mind, and I've seen them play since 1980 or so. Kim Mulkey and Pigtails in high school, and McGee Twins, and Cheryl Miller, and all of them. I was in the gold medal game in Los Angeles and saw that. And I'm on record to say that Caitlin Clark, she's one of the best ever because scored 41 points against South Carolina last year and 41 against LSU in the tournament. I mean, it's like saying Pistol Pete Maravich is not one of the greatest because he didn't play in an NCAA tournament game. Rebecca Lobo said something, and Jason Williams, you can't crown her one of the greatest. I don't know if they meant to say greatest of all time or in that greatest category, but she's definitely great in my book, and I've seen them all. I mean, I don't know why they made those comments because you see many All-Americans on her team?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's great.
I don't see many, and all those players at Connecticut. I mean, if you're watching a player of the caliber of Caitlin Clark, I don't need to see her win championship. She's tremendous in her own right. I mean, Larry Bird, did you win a championship? You're not going to say he's one of the best college players ever.
Yeah.
What he did for Indiana State. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't get the logic. I don't understand it. I mean. I don't follow it. I don't follow it myself.
I don't either.
Anyway, hey, just 3 things about Arizona and Alabama basketball. The first tournament game they ever played was in Tempe against Arizona State in 1975 with Leon Douglas and company. Then they were back here in 2004 for the Elite Eight. Connecticut beat them by about 30. Now they're back here again in Arizona for the Final Four in Glendale. So it's Tempe and Phoenix and now Glendale, all in Arizona, all significant moments for Alabama basketball. And to me, this is real personal because, I followed Connecticut basketball for 50 years. My teammate was the captain of Connecticut McDonald's All-American. And then I followed Alabama basketball, so I know both programs extensively. Followed them for 50 years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, AP, man, tell us real quick what you got coming up this week on.
We'll definitely discuss the Final Four, and we'll get back to some football here right quick because we know that's important to everybody. But we had to take a lot of time to speak about Alabama's basketball team, so it only ever happened twice in the state with Auburn and now Alabama, and so that was really important that they were reaching the Final Four. And if they show well, this could be the launching pad for Natos and company to be a regular contending for that Final Four, Elite Eights, that type of thing. Yeah,
sure would. Well, man, enjoy tonight. It's going to be awesome. Hope you have a great time. Safe travels coming home, and we'll talk about all your experiences next week.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
All right, take care, buddy. That was AP Steadham out of Phoenix in the Final Four. Hope he has a great time, and we always appreciate him coming on. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Bring a little caffeination inspiration to your next event with Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens. Check out their signature products, including a full coffee menu, white chocolate mocha, lattes, frappes, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. Travelin' Tom serves events of any size, concerts, neighborhood block parties, high school football games, you name it. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens is sure to make any event a little sweeter. Visit Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens on Facebook or call them at 434-1734. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens.
Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Applebee's Tailgate Talk wants to recognize our local athletes, and you can help. Go to tailgatetalk.net throughout the school year to vote for the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. The winner receives a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Submit your own nominations for future polls, too. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Cast your vote today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Tailgate Talk.
Hey, this is former Alabama offensive lineman Griff Redmill, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to WKC and Applebee's Tailgate Talk. This is Todd DeBide, the talent Tomerlin, alongside Coach Clint Legg and Tim Lambert, producer extraordinaire. We're now joined by a Hall of Fame, directors, president, what are we going with?
Directors.
There you
go. Board of Directors.
Board of Directors. Jeff Hodges and Judge Jimmy Woodroof. How are y'all?
We're good.
Doing well.
Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Our pleasure.
As always.
Yes, sir.
Another great class this year, 9 inductees. And, we've talked about this before. I don't envy y'all's job. Man, there's so many. I know every year y'all read mine and you go, man, he's awesome, but we're going to have to put him on hold for another year. And I get it. I understand. I'm a young man. I got
You're close.
Awesome. I know how close I am.
That's awesome.
but thanks for joining us. Let's talk about everything. The golf tournament will be coming up and at some point. And so when is it? June? Is that? I always forget. June is the.
Yeah, June 6th.
Okay.
Todd, is our golf tournament out at
Okay.
Canebrake. We'll have lunch at noon and then a 1 o'clock shotgun start.
Nice. And are y'all already taking participants?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If anybody's interested, they can see any of us, call me. But yeah, we've already got several teams in.
It's 4-man, right?
4-man scramble.
4-man scramble.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
That is awesome.
And Todd, I always want to say this. It's named in honor of Martha Jo Leonard.
Yes.
And so, she was such an instrument in this community, and honor her every year, and typically the families out there, and we have a little time to honor her, and Jeff has a beautiful intro. So it's a really great tournament, great time. Community support's fantastic. So means a lot to us.
Yeah, well, and y'all do wonderful things and have for years. How many years is this now for the Hall of Fame?
Well, 03, I think, was our first year.
I think that's right.
So
wow.
Whatever that is.
21?
Yep.
That's incredible. It's gone by fast.
It has.
Probably not to y'all. To us, we're not the ones doing the work. But because, and that's another thing, some people may get the thought that, y'all sit down about a week before the announcement and start hashing it out. But it's y'all pretty much start planning the other one as soon as the last one's done.
Yeah, we got a great board. We all work and all have specified roles. And, but like you said earlier, Todd, it's tough. We probably got 85 or 90 folks on the list, and we try to sort out each year 8 or 10 that are ready. And, we get new ones all the time.
All the time,
coming in.
yeah.
So it's just a lot of great and deserving people don't always get in, or certainly not as quickly as others would like for them to. But we do our best. We try to look at everybody across the county. And
Well, I mean, it just goes back to, like I said, you've got so many deserving folks. And then one thing we were talking about before the show started, Coach Lake brought up a great point about, like y'all always say, they can't get in unless they're nominated.
That's right.
But there's so many of us, and I've been guilty of it. Like, oh man, I can't believe so-and-so's not in. And then you go, and then I may ask one of y'all, hey, have they been nominated? They're like, nope. But all of us out here are thinking, well, surely they're nominated.
I know.
So nobody
That's right.
does it. So
exactly right.
Even if you think 10 people's nominated, go ahead and nominate them, and that way you know.
Well, let me say this to be clear to anyone listening. There's a website we have, Limestone County Sports Hall of Fame, and on that website is the nomination form.
It's easy.
So, print it out, write it up, and get it to one of the board members, and we'll go with it,
And that's all you have to do.
Yep.
But if there's a person that you think's deserving,
be sure to include all the information about the person you want on there.
Yeah, that's not y'all's job to
Coach,
research.
That's so important.
Because
we don't know. I mean, a lot of these people we don't know, and these people they don't give enough information to really fairly evaluate.
And maybe in their defense, because I know there's been people that come to find out they were already nominated, but when I thought about it, and I went out to try to find information on them, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago,
absolutely,
records get lost, skewed. You don't really know. You have to end up talking to people that were there. Don't know how much that helps y'all. You know what I mean? But
You're right.
because you don't have it, documented.
You're right.
But in the last 10 or 15 years, obviously that stuff's easier to find on people. But
didn't you guys add a couple of new people to your board though this year?
We did.
Who'd you?
We did. April Davis, who's a Hall of Famer, star athlete at Athens Bible School, and we added Gary Reedus, former professional baseball player that filled out our board. We had a couple people that had deceased over the past couple years, and we hadn't drug our feet in getting people on there, but we'd been very selective in getting folks in, and we have a full board now, 15 people. So, they're great additions to the
quick
board.
Gary Reedus story. It's weird that you brought him up. My sister and I were talking, my sister Lynn, we're talking about him the other day, and I don't remember this. I probably wasn't even there because I didn't go on summer vacation, so I always stayed back and played baseball. And Mom and Dad didn't want me on a summer vacation because I wasn't fun to travel with. But anyway, they saw Gary Reedus somewhere. This was back when he was playing for the Reds, I believe. And I don't know how Lynn was, but anyway, they saw him and she was like, oh, I'm going to get his autograph. I want his autograph. And she's running across the asphalt to get his autograph. Smack. Kiss the pavement.
Oh, Lord.
Ended up getting an autograph, but she was crying and carrying on and all that. But anyway, obviously I wasn't there because I certainly would remember that, so I could have ridiculed her over the years. But
I think Gary's in our first class. I think he was the 03 class.
Oh,
obviously deserving. But, that's another thing, Todd. They got to be retired. And they can't be active players. So that's one thing that allowed us now finally to get Richard in this year, Richard Hicks, because he's retired.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a length like 2 years or whatever removed, just as
not
like
all.
The day after. If they're retired or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. And Richard's another, great addition without a doubt.
Yeah.
We just talked to AP Steadham. He's out at the Final Four, and Richard's out there. He ran into him.
Oh, yeah.
He was on AP show last week, and so.
He does a great job broadcasting.
Yeah, he does. Oh man, he's so good.
Tremendous.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to say this, Coach Hendricks, Bernard, Richard, yes, but my Hall of Famer. The reason why I do what I do, and one of the best teachers in the Athens City school system ever, was Miss Hendricks, the mom, the wife.
Well, she's the one that kept that whole thing together.
If she's listening, she knows. She loved me when I was at the middle school, and she loved on everybody. She was a great person. She's a reason, man. There's a reason behind why you are a Hall of Famer, and she's the reason why Richard is. It ain't nothing to do with Coach Hendricks. That's Miss Hendricks. I hope she's listening.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because she and I were classmates in high school. We finished high school together.
Oh, awesome.
And just a great girl. And, boy, that family is top notch. They are great, all of them, top to bottom.
And Richard's sister worked at Alabama in the athletic office a little bit. That's awesome.
Every one of them smart as can be.
They are.
Just as nice and can be.
Good people, man.
Whole family's just wonderful across the board.
Let's see if we can get a couple of
I was going to say
inductees here.
Enough down about Hickory Lane. Let's start with the inductees.
You want me to go? You go.
Well, we'll call them all out, and then if there's one particular you guys want to talk about, we'll do that.
We can start at the top and go from there.
Chris Witt, who was from Elkmont, played high school sports at Elkmont, but is in the Hall of Fame because of his coaching prowess at Tanner. The success he had with their boys basketball team is incredible. Heidi Barnes, who was a decorated softball and basketball player at Athens High School. Harlow Fikes, who was a great athlete at Athens, punted at UNA. Was an All-American punter over there when I was in school over there. Mr. Hubert Cheatham, who was one of our older inductees, but was a star athlete out at West Limestone High School in his day. Garner Ezel, the former coach here at Athens. Jackie Moran, the basketball player at West Limestone. I fortunately got to watch Jackie play. He was an incredible scorer for West Limestone. Of course, we talked about Richard Hendricks, former Athens High School star in Alabama, and played in 8 countries professionally in his professional career. Trevor Washington, who was one of the, from what we understand, one of the best athletes to ever play out at Trinity, was a basketball player out there and went on to have a successful career at Alabama A&M. And then Shay Moore, early 80s basketball star down at Tanner, played on some state championship teams that Debbie Blakely, Hall of Famer, Debbie Blakely coached down there. Todd, do you remember those teams?
Oh, Lord, yeah. Debbie
good.
did a wonderful job with all those teams.
Yeah, Shay was a great player. So that's the class for this year.
Yeah, that is awesome. Going through that list, like y'all always have to do, one thing I was going to ask earlier was, how often does it come up? Human nature would probably do, or at least with me, maybe y'all don't do this, but in the back of my mind, I'd always be thinking, man, I'm, so-and-so this year. So-and-so should probably get, but then you start getting all these new nominees, and you're like, wow, maybe so-and-so's going to have to wait. How often does that come up, if very often at all? Because y'all do have such a long, prestigious list,
Well, I think it does. I think it's, it's hard every year. It really is. There's always one or two that are pretty well, Richard Hendricks, those
that's a walk-in.
No-brainers, but there are some that are just great athletes, and it's just tough, to whittle it down to the one you think should be in. Yeah. We all get a vote, and you total up the votes, and that's how you do it.
That's how it is. Yeah.
You have to get 60% of the board vote to be elected. That's what our bylaws say. So, but yeah, we have, just going back recently, Judge, Richard was obviously a first ballot guy this year, deserving,
Sure.
Phillip Rivers, obviously, the first year he was nominated, he's going to get in. But we do have people. What you said is absolutely true. We'll have people that will get close and then, maybe would get in, but a first ballot person like a Richard or a Phillip comes in, and it's part of what we do.
To try to think about the process. So those that are close, right? Maybe y'all had 2 or 3, maybe that were just right on the cusp this year. Do those applications go back on the top of the stack for the following year?
No,
you just start over.
You start fresh again.
Yeah. And you about have to, I guess.
And one thing, Todd, that I think is important, a lot of times, for me at least, when I'm doing my voting and it comes down to 1 or 2, and you've got one deserving, but he or she is pretty old, I'd like to get them in before they pass away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's not.
So them and the family.
That's not conclusive, but I do think it's a variable in there, at least in my mind. So often we need to give some deference to age, But again, it's not determinative by any means.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a kind of a tiebreaker in your own mind that kind of.
That may be it to me. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously, you got a 75-year-old, you got a 40-year-old.
That's exactly right. You know what I mean? And I want that person there for the banquet. There to feel it, receive it, and be a part of that.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you're that age, your wife's older, your kids are older. You know what I mean? The whole family's older. So, and their friends are older. But, so yeah, that's a great point.
Tim wants to talk about.
I was going to say let's spotlight one here before we have to go.
Yeah. And I want to say real quick, I'm so glad Harlow Fikes got in.
Hey, let's start with him because here's the deal: in the early '80s, Athens football was life.
It was king.
It was my life. It was all of our.
It was the whole county. It really was.
But Harlow was a guy that would always take time out with us. I'll never forget. I want to be a punter like him. I met him up at Athens High School Stadium, and I'm telling you this: you guys stand behind Athens High School Stadium. Harlow Fikes would punt it over the back. Mm-hmm. That's why he worked on his height. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to try to do it. My dad and Harlow's out there watching me. And I'm just thank God. I was trying my best to do what Harlow did, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate him. And man, what a great player he was for Athens UNA and the Birmingham Stallions.
He's such a good man,
and great,
family.
Go ahead to tell us about Harlow Fikes. I want to hear that one first.
Yeah. Well, he ranked in the top. I think about every year he was at UNA, he was in the top 5 in the country in punting. And, he played in what that division was, their all-star game, the Palm Bowl. We actually played in the national championship game that year. UNA got beat. That was my freshman year over there. That was when they still played the game out in McAllen, Texas. And UNA played North Dakota State, which at that point in time, nobody beat North Dakota State.
I was going to say, they were the team at that point.
And that was Division II at that point in time, and UNA lost that game. But Harlow was on that team that year. But, he set UNA records, career punts, punting yards. He was incredible, and like Clint said, got drafted by the Birmingham Stallions. But one thing about Harlow, of course, you know this from his high school days. He was a great football player, but he was a great athlete. Period.
He could do it all. There was a ball, or he could do it all.
No doubt.
I tell people, we had a team played intramural sports at UNA, and intramural sports don't get you in the Hall of Fame, obviously. But he had a team that he played on.
He dominated.
He was it didn't matter what it was, basketball or whatever it was, softball on the intramural squad. He was the absolute best player, and it wasn't even close.
People probably came to watch him. That's no joke.
He was incredible. And he was a good golfer too.
Yeah.
Play golf
absolutely.
too.
He was a good fisherman.
Yeah, very
unreal.
Very gifted guy.
Yeah, great man.
Very gifted guy, and a great dude. Yeah, absolutely. Great dude.
Very deserving.
Yeah. Anybody else want to spotlight Tim, or nope, that is it for today. Fellas, man, we can't appreciate y'all so much for coming in, and
we love
for all the work that y'all do.
Appreciate y'all.
The Hall of Fame has grown to be just, it's a very special event. It really is. And
well, let me say this. I don't think we've said this, but what we've been able to do, Ty, through time is increase our scholarships to young people.
Nice.
This year we're doing 5 $4,000 scholarships for deserving high school seniors. So
it's a big deal.
That's the community doing it.
Yep.
So we just thank the community.
Yep.
Event Center again. I'm sorry, real quick.
Yeah, Event Center, June 8th, 6:30 with a meal. If you want tickets, you can yell at one of us, or you can go through United Way of Athens and Limestone County. If you've never been, I tell people, if you've never been to our event, you ought to go.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if you don't have any connection to anybody, right? Because I've had people go through the years. I had some friends I play golf with that went last year because of Stuart Witt. And their comment was, I had no idea, you guys did this thing the way you do it. But going back to what Judge said, this year we've given away almost $100,000 since 2003 for scholarships. And it's the goal of the board to keep increasing those every year. Y'all know the cost of education keeps going up, and our board is committed to doing that. And again, like Judge says, it's the community that supports us and does that. And so we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys. And I haven't told you yet, but I think you guys are welcome at the golf tournament, the induction banquet. If you want to come and do a remote, we'd certainly love to have you. You'll be our guest. And
thank you.
You guys have been very supportive of us, and we genuinely appreciate that.
Y'all do wonderful things, make it easy for us. So
thank you.
Anyway, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, we'll have our Havoc hookup. Play Free Daddy Coleman. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. While others have come and gone, the Lion's Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lion's Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lion's Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook, The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
This is Shelby Davis, West Limestone head football coach, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show.
So you're a control freak?
It's just a freak show anyway.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, talking about the talent Tomberlin alongside Coach Clint Legg and producer extraordinaire. And it's that time of the show for our Havoc hookup. Clay Freak Daddy Coleman, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Had an interesting night last night. Apparently, a hockey game was played, and the Havoc scored a touchdown and a field goal, and Macon squeezed in a free throw.
No kidding, man. I mean, you're talking about a beatdown. 5 goals in the second period. Henderson had 2.
Yeah.
Like it looked like within about a minute and a half of each other.
Yeah, I had never been. I've been in a game where I was at the biggest I'd ever witnessed was 11-6 game. A long time ago, early and when I started working with the Havoc. But the first time, they tried it security, they give $100 for every goal. Oh. And they had, over the season, they were able to give $10,000, I guess was their charity amount that they gave or whatever. And so last night when it was at 7 goals, the fans were chanting, one more goal. And then finally it got to 9 goals and they were chanting, we want 10, we want 10. It was really pretty crazy. But yeah, Macon is in a transition. They've just been purchased by the same ownership that owns the Fayetteville Marksman team. So I think there's just a little bit of, hey, they didn't make the playoffs. They're had to play 2 more games. I mean, it is a hard season. Their body's beat up. It's tough, and to kind of do that, then you get on the road. So yeah, I just think they just were not in it last night at all.
It's what it sounded like.
Showed.
Yeah,
it showed.
I mean, the Havoc only have 1 more game, which is tonight against them there. You're talking about them being purchased. Do you know if there's any plans to move them, or that you think they'll keep them there in Macon?
No, they'll keep them. It's funny, the owner of the Fayetteville Marksman, I laugh, his name is Chuck Norris, so you can't lose with Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're really wanting to do and fix things and put some life into there. Fayetteville does a good job. I think where Macon has, I don't want to say messed up, but they had the Macon tracks, they had the fun names. The Macon Whoopie was the name that they had for the baseball team, and I think that they're really going to focus in on their marketing and how do they kind of embrace the city. They've been really working a lot with the Huntsville staff, because I mean that's the thing. I give a lot of credit, but and there's been some decent hockey that's come in with Glenn when he was coaching in the last little bit, but the marketing and just embracing the city and the charities. I mean, last night for Military Appreciation Night, over $64,000 raised for still serving veterans. I mean, so I think they've got to tap into that and find like the community heartbeat and then branch out from there. I think they'll do fine. Macon's a good city and perfect size market for minor league hockey, and I think they'll do fine. And Chuck is a great guy, and I think
you know what? And he should use that. He should use his name as part of the marketing. And then you got a great name in Mayhem, right? I mean, you could do a lot with that if you're a marketing person. I'm sure you could run wild with it.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, they'll do fine, and it's not as glamorous as a lot of people make it out to be, and that's the hard part for a lot of these teams to do it. But we'll see. I think that we'll go down there. I don't think we'll make it into the topper seeds. It'll give us a little home ice advantage. I mean, we've got to win, and Fayetteville's got to lose tonight in order for us to be able to get into that fourth place, because right now we're tied with Quad City for fifth, I think, fifth and sixth. So I would expect that it'll be a one game for each round of the playoffs at the Iceplex for 2 rounds, and if we make it to the championship, it would be back to the Von Braun Center, but it wouldn't be the majority of the games. I'm sure they're the higher seed will be up there.
Yeah. Now, we were talking before the show. Do you only get 1 point for a win, whether it's 10 points or 20 points or whatever? I mean, what's the deal with
so
the
you get 2 points for a win.
2 points, okay.
And then you get 1 point if you get a overtime loss.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. I knew overtime came in.
You get half a point for a draw?
No, just the 1 point, which I guess is just a rewarding of, hey, you took it to overtime, so you shouldn't get totally penalized.
Right.
It's like the original participation trophy.
Man, I tell you what. So, do you see a scenario where if the Havoc can't jump up to fourth, and that's probably not, but say, could we be in a better situation by being sixth and not fifth? Depending on who we might play, you know what I mean?
We've talked about this. I mean, the playoffs are unique with the Havoc. It's not. We try to put our head around the excitement of playoffs. To be just frankly honest with a lot of it, like when Alabama goes into the college playoff, it's a more excitement. With the fans in hockey. At this time, they're almost burnt out because of 28 games. And then you go into the playoffs, and it's harder to plan because they may come back, and we won't know until Sunday, tomorrow. And then it'll be, well, okay, we only have availability on a Wednesday, or, so that it's very hard to predict, perfect storm if it were to be that we had the VBC and it was a Saturday night. Maybe, but you never know. And right now we've got the first 2 rounds at the Iceplex, which, stinks, but it is what it is. So I really don't think there's that much of an advantage.
Okay.
Where you're at. I think in this situation, it's the only advantage you'll get is who wants it more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's that time of year, so like you said earlier, they're tired, they're beat up, and just. But you would hope that adrenaline kind of pumps in too, right? Because now you got that chance to win that trophy and all that. So maybe some of the aches and pains subside a little bit, at least during the game.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, I've never felt like anytime you went into, because the 8 teams get in out of the 10, 8 get in. I've never seen it where there was just this one lopsided advantage, because hockey's not, like most sports. You're going to lose games, so everybody can be beat. There's no undefeated teams. So then you'd break it down to the head-to-head, how well we played against Birmingham, how well we played against Fayetteville. That may be the different advantages that you may find. But like I said, it's pretty even. There's no just absolute domination of these teams.
No. Well, only 8 games separate Birmingham and the Havoc. So,
correct.
Through an entire season. So it's pretty tight. In itself, and I just thought it might be like a situation more of not who's so much better, but just a matchup kind of deal.
Maybe. Maybe I would love to. Right now, if it worked out, if we were in fourth, would we play a Quad City? I'd love that versus having to play Fayetteville.
No doubt.
But like I said, when you go into these things and you're only dealing with 3 rounds. Whether you play the number 1 seed or whether you play the 6th or the 8th, you're going to have to go through these people eventually.
Yeah, eventually. That's true. I would just rather do it later than sooner.
True.
Give
true,
that hope.
Yeah.
Give us that hope.
Some people look at it like, would you want the harder game first?
Were you a little fresher,
and
maybe?
get it out of the way, and then, as you're getting more beat up, more tired.
That's a good point.
You end up playing a lesser team. I mean, it's, like I said, it's there's tons of scenarios, but like I said, the best way is this: hey, you've only got maybe 6-7 more games to a championship. If you're an athlete and you can't suck it up, then you're not going to win it anyway.
Yeah. Well, Clay, buddy, we're short on time this week, but we hope, pulling for a win tonight and looking forward to where we're seated tomorrow. What time do you think they'll announce that?
It'll probably be around 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. So go on the website and look for that. And I'm sure if everybody download that Havoc app, man, it's awesome. And I'm sure it'll be on that and you'll get a notification.
Absolutely.
So we always appreciate your time, buddy, and look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, brother. You take care. That was Clay Freak Daddy Coleman, our Havoc hookup. We're going to take us a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hey, this is Curly Hallman. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Todd DeBod, the talent Tomerlin, and onside coach Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. We're having a little phone difficulties with Sidney Moncrief, who was going to be our next guest, former
maybe he's at the Mecca, Tim, and can't hear inside.
That's right. He might be in that Mecca on that checkered floor or that look like backgammon board. I love that court. But so we're going to pick back up with Coach Jimmy Woodroof and Jeff Hodges of the Limestone County Hall of Fame and talk about some more nominees of this year's class. So, fellas, y'all just pick up with
let me talk first about Coach Ezel.
Yeah.
Athens High School came in 1986, had a 10-year career there, 79 wins, which is the best winning percentage in school history. Tremendous coach. Had 3 11-win seasons, 1 10-win season. He won the region 8 of 10 years.
Wow.
And his 87 team was the second team in school history to go perfect during the regular season. So Yeah, he's most deserving.
Yeah, I'd say that's worthy.
He's most deserving.
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely.
Also, the coach of Carlos Franklin that made it in last year. One of those guys that played for Coach Easy.
Good athletes help, don't he, Clint?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Makes you a good
Helps
coach.
any coach, doesn't it?
Makes you pretty good.
Yeah.
The guys that graduated my year in '87, I'm sure they're going to take the credit for making the '87 team a good team.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about, because I don't know if we're going to get to everybody. Let's
Sure.
talk about a man that I grew up with, Chris Witt, Coach Witt. I mean, you mentioned about his athleticism as a player, and he was a really good all-around athlete at Elkmont, and we always hated playing those Elkmont teams in any of the sports just because he was one of the ones out there on the court or field. But as a coach, wow, the success that Tanner had.
Yeah, I mean, he was
those
at
years
Tanner
was
like
just
25, 26 years, and 586 wins.
That's amazing.
12 county championships, 21 area championships, 13 Final Fours, and 2 state championships.
Yeah.
So,
and we were talking about athletes, and Coach Witt's a great coach, but he was certainly blessed with some great athletes through the years as well. Absolutely. A lot of them went on to play college ball and everything. But you know what? Sometimes that can be a harder job as a coach to keep those egos down in check and get them to do what you want to do.
You're exactly
versus somebody that may not be as gifted athletically. But those teams through the years were just and it was. Like you said, almost 3 decades. I mean, it was, from the get-go.
That's right.
And kids change, right, through all those years. And you have to adapt to how, as much as you want to maybe coach like you did 10 years prior, sometimes you just can't because the kids don't respond that way anymore. So he was able to adapt. And
I don't ever remember him having a bad team.
No,
it was just year after year.
I mean, Coach Legg, I don't know.
I got to coach with Coach Witt when I coached football at Tanner, and this is some things about Coach Witt. Number one, they didn't start basketball at Tanner till later on because we'd make it deep in the playoffs in football, and the same dudes played everything at Tanner. Yep. But what I admire about Coach Witt, I bet you still today, his wife probably don't even know he made the Hall of Fame because he's not going to tell nobody.
No, that's one thing.
He's a quiet
dude. Quiet. Like, it wasn't funny. It was just different to watch him on the sidelines and in that huddle where most coach, you're down by 2, 10 seconds on the clock, and most, that's intense, right? Yeah. But he always just even killed, man. Look, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to throw the ball in over there, and then you're going to take the shot. Make sure you crash the boards. All right, let's go.
Wow.
It's just.
We talked about that, Todd, the other night at Tanner. It was a bunch of those guys that played for him standing around. Coach Witt was coaching through a firestorm. What I mean by a firestorm is he's saying that while the conversations around him, one of them in football was definitely me. It wasn't good conversations, and he was so calm. And I went, man, and all the kids loved that dude. I'm telling you, man, he's left it Tanner basketball on this, no matter who it is. Kind of like DeBoer. Whatever Coach DeBoer does, he's going to get criticized. Yeah. Whatever the new guy at Tanner has done, and what Coach Witt would have done, there's no telling, man, how many kids that don't have a dad at home Coach Witt was a dad for because he's been that dude for a long time, man. Coach Witt, in fact, I would be willing to bet you that Coach Witt's also a pretty cheap dude, so he's probably wore the same windsuit since the
1988.
He's got the same ones on. But, man, another, well-deserving dude in the Hall of Fame.
Chris Witt. I was eating breakfast with some buddies who were talking about it, and just to tell you how old I am, I mean, his daddy, Roger, we all knew well.
I loved Roger, man.
His granddaddy, Gilbert, I mean, I knew him well, great builder. But, just over the process of time, just thinking back on the Whits and so many people here that are so important to this community, and man, they have been.
Yeah. And growth is wonderful and all that, but sometimes I wonder about the Chris West, the Jimmy Drakes, the Jerry Todds, whatever the world that that we grew up in, that all these people that are coming in from all over didn't get to experience it, and back then, we were all as a county, as a city, whatever, because it was a smaller community.
Right.
So everybody knew everybody and whatever, and you knew what was going on. And I don't know, I miss that closeness that, because everybody cared for another one. Didn't matter what school you went to. If somebody was going through a problem or whatever,
sure.
You always wanted to jump in. Even the city schools, we even loved y'all to some degree.
To some degree.
Well, Jimmy and I talked about it. I never played for Coach McCoy. Never got the opportunity. But I still, man, if he were to call me today and tell me I need my yard cut, I'd go cut Coach McCoy's yard. I had that much respect for him, man.
God, man, like Mike was a little younger than me, but I would hang out with him a lot during the summer. We'd play ball wherever, just doing whatever. And I always loved going to their house. Just a great family. And Coach McCoy was always, man, and he's always coaching. But, we just might be in the yard goofing off, throwing a baseball, football, shooting a basketball, whatever. No, come over here, fellas. And I love that.
I know.
Loved it. Sure do.
Well, he was special to me and a lot of people. Great coach, yeah.
Absolutely.
How about?
Yeah, who else we got?
Who else we got here? What about little Hubert Cheatham?
Yeah.
West Limestone point guard on the 56 state championship team. Hubert was all-state, all-tournament team, all-district. Led the team in 3 free throw percentage, assists, and steals. That team went 25-4. He pitched a no-hitter in a baseball game, and he played basketball and baseball at Martin Methodist. But, just a great little
And what year did he graduate?
56 was their state
Love before my time.
And, Tommy Smith was a great player on that team.
Yeah.
Wow. He was a class of 05 inductee. I think he was the MVP in the tournament, whatever. Wow. Maybe the player of the year in the state. But
Eric's did.
Yeah.
Really.
I got those two on a phone call one time, and it just went on and on. That was one of the best interviews that I ever did.
Well, Jimmy, what I appreciate more about Hubert than anything is, once again, growing up in Athens, Hubert and his brother Randolph were two of our coaches in our Fifth Avenue ballpark days.
Yep.
And the amount of time that Mr. Cheatham Hubert and his brother poured into us young punk kids from Athens was awesome, and he did such a good job and was a dad. Again, another dude that was a dad to so many that didn't have one.
You know what? You just bring up something that I've never asked y'all or thought of. All right, so as far as the nominees go, and maybe there's a special like community entry or whatever, but like, have y'all ever had anybody nominate a coach that was a peewee football coach, or didn't coach a high school or middle school, any school level, just summer ball, like Tim Cargrove, Harold Wells,
I know
all that. I mean, they spent so many hours on those fields with us, and we're intricate in who we are today as men.
Todd, we do have some people on the list that would fit in that category. And, of course, there's a list. You can be inducted in support personnel, which is kind of, I guess, where they would possibly fall. But, yes, there's a handful of people on there that would fit that bill, that were not high school coaches or college players or even good high school players, but people felt compelled enough to nominate them for what they'd done for the community, basically, and whether it be rec league ball or getting players to and from, different sports.
Like Clint said,
just telling you,
father figure,
My wife always asked me, "Why are you the way you are?" I said, "Well, let me tell you who my little league baseball coach was, Harold Merle."
Oh, there we go.
Coach Merle, Athens State Coach Merle. Good Lord, the stuff I can't say on the air that I'd like to say that he told us at 11, 12, have shaped my life into being, hey, it ain't nothing too tough right now. What Coach Merle used to say, and my mom. So
here's a man I may need to think of, since y'all got that kind of, and now I'm forgetting his first name, John South, right, Mr. South?
Yeah.
Max's daddy.
Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy.
Buddy
was just so. I played for him 3 or 4 times as a young man, and fell in love with his daughter Bellamy as a.
Just don't go down. Don't chase that rabbit.
I'm just saying, he was such a good man. And he did those things. He picked kids up from home and got them home from practice that couldn't make it do that. But anyway, so let's move on to another one.
Well, Jackie Moran, West Limestone and Athens State, played also at Martin. Final Four his junior year, they had a 26-8 record. Jackie averaged 23.5 points. Senior year, he was county MVP, all tournament teams, all state, averaged 24 a game. and as I said, played at Martin Methodist and Athens State, but a tremendous basketball player.
Yeah, Jackie, I was coming back to this area from school and working about the time Jackie was playing. That's about when I started doing the
he was good.
PA for Ardmore, and he's top 5 guys from the county that I ever saw play. You know, him, Danny Anderson up at Elkmont, some of the guys at Tanner, obviously, you know, that was coming through back at that time. But I remember particularly Jackie and Danny Anderson, who's in the Hall of Fame, former Athens coaches, went back to Elkmont. But if those two guys wanted to score, they were going to score. They put the ball in their hand.
Everybody got out of the way.
And everybody got out of the way. Yep. And they were incredibly hard to stop. Yep.
Well, fellas, we're going to pay some bills. We'll have you just stay tight. We're going to have you back on. We're going to take us a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk anywhere you go by downloading the PAS Plus app for your Android or iPhone. We'll be back with more after this.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street, open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
When you're looking for something special for your next event, why not bring in the most amazingly fine flavored shaved ice this side of the islands? Kona Ice of Decatur and Athens. Whether it's a school or major sporting event, a picnic, or festival, Kona Ice brings the fun and laughter. From their steel drum music to their signature flavor wave, where guests can flavor their own shaved ice. No event is too big or too small. Kona Ice makes fundraising easy too. Call Kona Ice today and tell them what you have in mind. 256-566-5298. Or look for them on your favorite social media platform. Kona Ice of Decatur in Athens. 256-566-5298. If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com.
Hey, this is Athens Bible School varsity girls basketball coach Corey McEllier, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. Todd the talent Tomerlin, alongside Coach Clint Legg and producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. This next man needs no introduction, and what an honor to be able to talk with him today. NBA Hall of Famer in the class of 2019, among a lot of other accolades that we'll talk about. Sidney Moncrief. Sidney, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, man, thanks so much for joining us, man. It's that time of year, Final Four. There's so much to talk about with you. So let's just go ahead, since it's Final Four season, talk about that 78 team that you played on in Arkansas under Coach Eddie Sutton, who made the Final Four. Tell us a little bit about that Final Four experience, and not just then, but just, man, how much has grown and exploded since then.
Yeah. I don't think you can compare. Back when I played, there were 32 teams in the entire tournament.
Yep.
And the same brackets pretty much, and I'd never forget playing in the Final Four. We didn't really know the magnitude of it because it wasn't hyped as much as it is now.
Yeah.
We knew it was a big deal for us, first of all. But when we got to St. Louis and game number 1 against Kentucky, the energy in the Checker Dome was so on fire. I can't even start to explain how good. And back then, you could still smoke somewhere. I think in the hallways and the entire arena, it was a cloud of smoke.
That's crazy.
in addition
it'd
to
make
all
it
the
hard
energy.
to breathe going up down the court.
yeah, it was a little challenging. But now, as you know, there's so much more about the Final Four. Now you have the women's Final Four. March Madness is a big issue also. It's a big deal. And so you have that energy from both sides, which I think is very unique and much needed.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to tell everybody, for those who may not remember you, we get a lot of younger listeners. So you were the 5th overall pick in the 79 draft, drafted by the Bucks, who was coached by the great Don Nelson, who was awesome. Played with Marcus Johnson. That was, all y'all's teams were in kind of my wheelhouse, and I love the NBA back there. You're also NBA Player of the Year back-to-back, 82, 83, 83, 84, which says a lot. Whole lot.
Yeah, defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
I don't want to take it from Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, but yes.
and then All-Star team for 5 consecutive years, which is unbelievable. So, man, you played, bless y'all's hearts, for lack of a better word, because back then, you had the Celtics, the Sixers. And then, y'all were always kind of right there. But, man, trying to overtake them, obviously, y'all were never able to get in the NBA Finals while you played. But y'all had such good teams.
We did. It was just so many dynasties back then. Of course, the Lakers and the Celtics dynasties, and Philadelphia. Someone can argue that the team that they had when they won the NBA Finals was one of the best teams in the history of pro basketball. Very, very competitive. And like today, you have some good teams, great teams, and you have some bad teams.
Yeah.
And the goal is always to beat the bad teams, beat most of the good teams, and all the great teams. You want to at least go 500 with those teams. And if you could do that consistently, you put yourself in a position to at least make the tournament, NBA tournament.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about how much the game has changed over the years. Do you like the way the NBA game is played now? I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not. I find it almost unwatchable. That's just me.
It's sort of. I have mixed feelings. Most of me feels like you. First of all, because I still believe that a bad shot's a bad shot, and they take so many contested 3-point shots. They pass up layups for 3-point shots.
Exactly. Oh my gosh!
All the things. But one thing I will say is their skill. When they're playing on top of the game, there's nothing like it. You really, now this is me, I can't really watch a college game very much because if I watch an NBA game, because the skill level is so high.
Yeah.
And then you go to a college game, it's sort of difficult for me to watch college games, except the fundamentals, men and women, are still somewhat there. The execution is still there. They don't take as many bad shots. So some things is better, but as far as making plays, I'm still a make play guy. You got to make plays.
You got to make plays. You're right.
You got to make plays, and no one makes plays like NBA basketball players.
Well, I mean, best athletes in the world. I mean, maybe hockey players because they're on ice are right there with them as far as, that athleticism goes and hand-eye coordination. But, but like the frustration with me on the college game now is, were you there all 4 years at Arkansas?
Yes. Yes, I was there 4 years.
That's gone. It's just gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
So you don't have the team aspect of it anymore. And it's always interesting to watch in the NCAA tournament how usually, and it hasn't necessarily been the case this year, but most of the time that's how you see like a Butler or, a mid-major team kind of elevate because those guys have been together 3 and 4 years versus a team like Kentucky who's a one and done or, because kids are leaving and transferring now and nobody can stay together and make a team.
Yeah, it hurts the continuity in the play of the game, no doubt. Because part of the beauty of basketball to me is the longer you play together as a team, at least your core players, the more beautiful basketball you play. And it's better for the fans. It's better for the opponents. It's good for everybody.
Yep.
Now, coaches are constantly having to make adjustments, not only because of the portal, but I know in the NBA, if you have a hangnail, you're not playing. You're out for that game.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. It's
You're
like,
out.
so-and-so sitting
Scratch.
out, a bruise on his front big toe or something. I'm
I'm like, well, how do these guys get the rhythm of playing together when you're not playing many games? And some of these games you shouldn't play, and some you could play.
Yeah.
And I think you really cheat the fans when they don't show up to play when they can play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're talking about the difference between college and NBA. I can remember when I was younger, watching the NBA, and I would think, man, the NBA, they get all kind of breaks. They get 6 fouls.
Yeah.
Their traveling is not as tightly called, and some situations you might throw the ball in.
They had the 2 for 3 free throws back then.
Yeah, I was going to say you had the 3 to make 2, and then some situations, we might be throwing the ball in under the goal and have to go the length of the court, whereas
they go half court.
It's about half court. So. When you moved from college to NBA, what was your thinking about the change there?
Yeah, well, I think the NBA rules is better basketball. Personally, I think it's better for the game. It's more as coaches can do things, make adjustments. Just think if the college had, why would you allow a team that just scored, that's about to go play defense, call the timeout? Like in college, I mean, why would you not allow them to advance the basketball to pass half court on their side so they'll have a chance to make a play down the stretch with 2 or 3 seconds remaining? The coach will have an opportunity to draw up a play that might score a bucket. Those type things is better on the NBA side. However, here's the biggest difference. I didn't have to adjust to this much because I was pretty athletic, and I played for Coach Sutton, who forced us to play hard all the time. But what players see in college, you have more time on the court.
Yeah.
You have more time to get your shot off. You have more time to make a pass. You have more time to transition to defense. You have more time to help on the weak side. In the NBA, you have zero time. The players are so fast, they're so quick. If you catch the ball on a swing pass, somebody is normally right there.
Yep.
If someone penetrates, if you're just a little bit late, they're scoring. Everything happens faster. And college players normally take a year. Sometimes they don't adjust. It takes at least 1 year to adjust to the speed of the game of basketball.
Well, sure. Well, and just the amount, like how hard was it to go from 25 to 30 games in college to the 82 plus whatever in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, that was for me. It wasn't bad. Of course, like I said, we the way we practiced at Arkansas. Days off. You didn't have them.
It wasn't such a thing.
Your day off when you played a game. That was your day off. So in essence, it was like you were playing at Arkansas. It was like you were playing 100 games a year because your practices were 3.5 hours, really hard. And when I got to the NBA, 82 games, I was like, oh, that's a relief. At least we don't have to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a relief.
We'll talk about playing for Coach Nelson a little bit. I always admired him. He had great teams, obviously with y'all and through the years at other stops.
Yes, a lot of respect for Coach Nelson. He taught me so much about basketball, especially how you need to adjust your offense to fit your players. So many coaches during that time, they were all about, this is my offensive set. You all would need to run it like I have it drawn up, and they didn't make very many adjustments. He was smart enough to make those adjustments to put players in positions where they could succeed. It made him extremely unique and fun to play for. But you never knew. You never knew what he might say. Okay, Sidney, you're guarding Kareem, something really crazy.
Wow.
But he would have a reason for it. One time when I was coaching with him, we were playing Steve Nash, who had played for us in Dallas, and we were playing Phoenix. And he said, okay, we're going to let Steve Nash drive. If he drives, we're not helping. Now, my mind growing up, supporting on defense, blew me away. I mean, why would we do this?
Yeah. I mean,
but he knew what he was doing. He was saying, okay, we're going to force him to make plays. We're going to keep the other players from being involved. And when the game is on the line and he has to go to someone, they're not going to be in a position nor have the rhythm or momentum to make a play.
Yeah, and he could do it too.
And Nash scored 40-something points and 40-something, but we won the game.
That's all that matters. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So he was that type of coach that he was not afraid to try something once.
Yeah. Who were some other coaches that you played for, whether it be Eddie Sutton or high school or whatever, that because you didn't really play? I mean, you were, 10 years in Milwaukee? He wasn't there the whole time, though, right?
No, Dale Harris.
Yeah, Dale Harris. Man, I love Dale Harris. I forgot about him being your coach.
Yeah, great coach, good basketball mind. And really, fortunately, I didn't play for a lot of coaches.
Yeah, no,
but I did play for great coaches.
Who'd you play for in Atlanta that one year?
Don't ask me. My mind just went blank.
I didn't even look, I don't think. But and I don't remember those Atlanta teams because they weren't very good.
Weiss.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, you got several books that you've written, and you've got one that has just come out here pretty recently.
Get off the bench, get in the game. A guideline to get off the sidelines in the workplace. Sounds like a great one. I think we lost him.
Oh, man, before we went to talk to his book.
He was breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, well, he was out hiking. That's why I didn't answer my phone call the first time. So here we go, live on the air.
He must be up in the hills. So I'll talk a little bit about some of his coaching jobs that he had. I'm not going to mention one to him. He was the head coach. There we go. He went to he coached Arkansas Little Rock in the 99-00 season and 2000 season, and went 4-24. So that might be a memory that he doesn't want to share. Coached the Fort Worth Flyers in the D League in the NBA. There we go.
Yeah,
I was kind of going over your coaching jobs while we were off there, so we'll pick up where we.
I told him you were out hiking, so you kind of started dropping out a little bit.
Yeah. I started moving like I was stupid. I was in a really good spot, so I'm going back to that spot.
You lost the sweet spot.
You're right. I sure did.
So talk about this book that you've got that's just come out here.
Yeah, my new book that will be going into print next week.
Oh, okay. I thought it was already.
It would be book number 12.
Wow.
And of my 12 books, this one is I like. It's called Get Off the Bench, Get in the Game. And it's in the workplace. So it's a book that uses basketball analogies to inspire people to do better in the workplace and also on their teams. If there's a sports team, this would be a great book for them, for their players, and for their coaches.
In the workplace is a team, right? I mean, you have to be a good team in the workplace in order to, produce and get whatever it is you're making or working on. So, it's obviously beneficial to them too. You obviously do a lot of speaking to companies as well.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of speaking, mostly emotional intelligence, leadership, soft skills driven. We do leadership, and also you said something very important. There are so many places in our society where teams are essential. Mm-hmm. Our families, team. Our churches, teams. Certainly our athletic teams are teams, and then in the workplace, you have to learn to work as a team. And so the book hits on basic principles that I learned over the years. And I give a lot of good stories when I was in junior high school, which is shocking I can remember that far back. But when they said trauma is real, believe it. So I go back to when I was in junior high school and a couple of instances where was on the bench. I was trying to get off the bench, or I did something that put me on the bench, that I should not have done. And that happens. And it's so funny. One guy, real quickly, I give a story about when I was in junior high school of a guy that I knew. He was smoking in the locker room, right? And I was right behind him. He said, "Hey, Sidney, take a drag off this cigarette." I take the cigarette, smoke the cigarette, and the coach comes in the locker room.
Of course. That's the way it works.
Yeah, then I talk about being on the bench, because that definitely put me deeper on the bench. But the ironic part was, last week I was at a school speaking to some students, and the guy that gave me the cigarette, his grandson is a player at this high school. Wow. And I ran into him, and I told him, I said, you know what, you're in my next book. And then I told him the story, but he did so much bad stuff. He halfway remembered it.
Halfway.
He did, halfway, because that was probably the least threatening story that he probably had heard. So the book is fun. It's not very long. It's less than 100 pages. And you can go to SidneyMoncrief.com, SidneyMoncrief.com. You can order for your teams, order for your workplace, and I would love to sign a copy for you and send it out to you.
Yeah, and I encourage people to do that, not just this book, but the other books you've written too. And and if you're interested in having, Mr. Moncrief come in and speak to your team or group, you can reach out on that webpage and do that as well.
Yeah, we do workshops also. The beauty in what I do is I build people. I've done it as a coach. Sometimes very well, sometimes not. That's how coaching is. I've done it as an entrepreneur, because I had car dealerships.
Yep.
And now I have the opportunity to take all those experiences, wrap them in a package, and not only do keynotes, but do workshops for adults and for students. So I love what I do. I love my life. And, hey, I'm just very blessed and happy to be a part of you guys' show today.
Well, I mean, you're giving back to the community so much, and obviously those things you learn. Anybody that's ever played sports, whether you're on the bench or the star, there's so many things you can learn that we take on from that help us in adulthood. It's amazing. And so you've taken all those experiences, and now you're able to teach others, and that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. And I'm able also to sit down and look at this beautiful Lake Washington in the state of Arkansas and take in all this beauty.
Yeah.
Before I finish my hike. Yeah, it sure is.
Well, I hope us Alabama fans are taking in some beauty tonight.
That's
you've been to the Final Four. We can't act like we've been there before, because we have basketball. Yeah. So
well, and here's what people don't realize, especially people from Alabama with football. They don't realize, I'm sure they do, how hard it is to get to an NCAA championship or even to an SEC championship. That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and to get to a Final Four in basketball is very difficult to do. And sometimes they'll do it this year and they don't do it the next year, and the fans say, "Well, we want to do it every year."
Yeah.
But it's very
so hard.
too.
You're right. Speaking of which,
so hard.
Real quick before we have to let you go, the story of NC State this year has just been incredible. Having to win the 5 games in the ACC tournament, now winning 3 or 4 in the NCAA to get to the Final Four. That's just been, it's probably going to end tonight, but you never know. Nobody ever thought they'd make it this far.
When they played the last game against Marquette.
Yep.
I was at the game because I was doing an appearance as part of a promotion, and I went to the game, and they asked me about who was going to win against Marquette. Of course, Milwaukee, love Marquette. We got some history in Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
And then I asked someone, I said, have you seen the teams that North Carolina State, who they beaten in the last 5 or 6 games? Because it shocked me when I looked it up. It was like who's who in basketball.
Absolutely. It was everybody, even through the ACC up to that point. And I thought Marquette was going to take them out. And then, boom, they didn't. So.
Well, they got players that can make plays, but it's a different level tonight. But you never know. Never know, but it's a different level. One thing we do know is a team with the most talent will normally win.
That's true.
That's true. That's a given in sports. Yep. And I think UConn has the most talent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah.
Really do.
Yeah. Well, Sidney, man, thanks so much for joining us. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It's truly been an honor. I loved watching you play ball, and you were one of the best to ever do it. Absolutely. So, and you're continuing to do great things, and so we wish you well.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You take care. That was Sidney Moncrief, NBA Hall of Famer, and still doing good things today. I encourage you to go to his website, SidneyMoncrief.com, check out his books and other information. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKC, the Big 1080.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627.
Hi, this is Dan Loria, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to WKC and Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on the Big 1080. Todd DeBod, the Talent Tomlin, alongside Coach Clint Legg, producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. And we're going to pick back up with the Hall of Fame inductees for this year 2024 class.
Yeah, you know, one we haven't talked about, Todd, was a star female athlete at Athens High School, Heidi Barnes. She played for Coach Randy White there. Randy's an integral part of our board, of course, a member of the Limestone County Sports Hall of Fame as well as the State Hall of Fame. Legendary coach here. Heidi played there from 96 to 2000. Scored over 1,000 points in her career there. She was the 1999 state champion MVP on a team that won the state championship, and she played on actually was Player of the Year on a softball state championship in '99. She went down and played at West Alabama from 2000 to 2002. So just talking to Coach White, one of the absolute most talented players that he ever coached. So very deserving there in Heidi Barnes, a legend at Athens High School on the female side.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are some great stats there.
Another one we haven't talked about, we talked about Tanner, we talked about Coach Witt down there, and I talked about it a little bit when we were introduced them all. Shay Moore down at Tanner, she was there in the early 1980s, played on a 2A state championship team, like I said, I believe, if I'm not bad wrong. Debbie Blakely coached that team, I think. She was the state MVP, county MVP, all area, honorable mention All-American by USA Today, and that was her sophomore year. She averaged 19.2 points a game. 11.4 rebounds a game. That was in 82 and 83. In 84 and 85, she was all-state, all-area, all-county MVP. She set the school scoring record with 1,417 points in a single season that year, and had a game-high 40 or a team-high 41 points in one game. She averaged 25.8 a game that year. Wow. 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals per game that year.
That's amazing.
Just on and on.
And the thing with Shay, real quick, I didn't interrupt, but because I remember playing it every year, even into college. She just got better and better and better and better. It was just crazy.
She played at Calhoun, where she was the MVP there from 87 to 88. Was the Alabama Junior College all-region team that year. Had scholarship offers from many schools coming out of Calhoun. Just an absolutely dominant player is what I remember. Just dominated the ladies' game when she was at Tanner. Played on some really good teams.
I'm gonna compare this. I think Tanner back in those days was what, for those of you that don't know, you've watched South Carolina girls play basketball, how dominant they look. Tanner's girls, and I'm pretty sure Shay's nickname's Fatty. I hate to say that, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
That's it.
But man, Miss Debbie did a great job of coaching them on them, stomping down the sidelines, and coaching them up, man. They were a machine back during the 80s, the Tanner girls.
It was more of a surprise if they didn't go to the state finals or than it was if it was just because they was just that consistent and that good.
Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they may be the only school, and I may be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. Billy Owens is on our Hall of Fame board of directors as well as being in the Hall of Fame. But if I'm not wrong, one of those years, Tanner girls won state championship and the boys won state championship the same year. I don't know if that's been done before in Limestone County, but the boys both won.
I'd dare to say how many schools, period. I mean, that's a huge feat.
Yeah, they both, I remember that. Really, the final person we haven't talked about is Trevor Washington. Trevor played at Trinity High School here in Athens. He averaged 32.6 points a game.
Wow.
And had almost 2,500 career points there. Played on some really good teams. Went over and played at he's on the all-time Trinity team. 50 most significant athletes in Trinity high school sports history. He played over at Alabama A&M in his freshman year over there. He averaged over 18 points a game as a freshman and over 10 rebounds a game. Wow. 15 points a game his junior year, almost 9 rebounds a game, and his 11.5 points a game and 5 rebounds a game his senior year. He averaged 14 points during his career, 8.2 rebounds, and had very high field goal percentage and shot over 70% from the free throw line. So
wow. So what year did Trinity close, Judge?
1970.
70. Okay. For some reason in my mind I always thought it was late 60s.
70 was the first year so I guess they closed in 69 was the last year.
Okay.
But and Trevor's brother Snyder is in the Hall of Fame. I think
how cool is that?
Yeah, tremendous. Like an 04 inductee, and he's on our board now too. And so
there was a little ragging going on there for a while, probably.
You could at the board meetings when we talked about it. There's a little ragging on who was the better player, but they were both really outstanding players.
Wow, that's awesome.
Did we talk about Richard Hendricks? Have anybody ever heard of Richard Hendricks? I guess we talked about him, didn't we?
Well, we talked about his family.
About his mom.
We didn't talk about his accomplishments.
Well, let me say this. He was a 4-year starter at Athens High School. He was 2005 Alabama Mr. Basketball. Scored over 2,900 points, and really probably one of the most decorated prep basketball players in the history of Alabama. He was twice Parade All-American. He was a 2005 member of the McDonald's All-American team, a 5-star recruit, University of Alabama 4 years, first team All-Conference in 2008, and had a 14-year pro career. So we could go on and on about Richard. But
he was a real quick story, and of course I played for Coach Jimmy Drake, and in adulthood we were really good friends. did a lot of stuff together and had fun times. But one thing he did that I always admired, Bernard, Coach Hendricks, was his assistant when Coach Drake was at Athens. And it was the end of the season. I remember we were we were in Russellville eating before a game or something, and Coach Drake said, "I'm stepping down at the end of the season." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I'm gonna step. I'm like, "Why, dude? You know, I mean, you got this team coming back. You got Richard's senior year, right, and all that." Anyway, he wanted Bernard to be able to coach his son. Yep. And you know, I always thought that was cool, and I know Coach Hendricks, Bernard, appreciated, you know, that gesture, and so happy that he did get to coach his son, you know, his senior year, and then he went on to have success after that. I mean, man, how long was Coach Hendricks right there at Jerry Todd's side? I don't know.
Years there. I don't know the numbers, but you're right.
15, I don't even know. I don't remember him never not being together.
Well, you know what was neat, too, Todd? We got Bernard in last year.
Yeah,
his playing career was unbelievable, and his son comes in, so that's pretty neat.
And it's back-to-back.
And back-to-back.
So cool.
That's right.
The only thing could have been cooler if they could have been in together.
That's right.
You know, it didn't work out that way, but he's getting in now. So, you know, what, like we said, what a family.
Yep.
You know,
no doubt.
More so off the court than on the court, to be honest.
Yep.
So I guess we get everybody in?
I think we did.
I think so.
Well, hey, once again, you guys did a good job, and I'd be remiss, and he'll be really mad at me if I don't say that one of my good friends, Barry Devine's on this committee, and I don't know what Barry does for y'all, probably not a whole lot, but he, man, I'm appreciative, man, what you guys are recognizing the people that are well-deserving from not only Athens but the county that should be and need to be in, but I'm going to say it again, don't sit at home and gripe and fuss if you're not going to nominate somebody for it. Right. So get there and it's a real simple process to do it and get it done. So, I mean, anyway.
No, Barry does a great job for us. He does a lot of our PR work as far as you know, articles and communicating with the newspaper and
so it's him I need to scold for the leak. Oh, okay.
So he's awesome. He does a
great guy.
Job. Yeah.
He really is.
He is, and I mean, he's been in this community for Lord. I mean, I've known him.
It means something, Barry. He works hard at it.
It means a lot. But listen, guys, he's also worked for Coach Merle at Athens State, where that ain't an easy job.
Oh, it ain't.
Sure.
Anybody can work for
Barry's
Coach Merle.
battle tested.
Yeah, he's definitely battle tested. And I'm sure I've asked y'all this before, and not that I won't say the discussions were heated per se, but I mean, you know, have y'all ever had, say, intense conversations? You're trying to narrow it down, right, between this individual, that individual, and, you know, you needed that 60% threshold, like you said, Jeff, but you know, maybe, and I know y'all don't, you know, it can be 12, it can be 4. It's just whoever's deserving the most, whatever that year. But I mean, do they ever get like, no, I say this dude, and you're like, nope. This,
you know, this is. I've said this many times, and I always say it at the banquet, and I'll say it again. This is the most functional board I've ever been on, and everybody is on the board for all the right reasons and doing the right things. And you know, we've kind of got a process down through the years. It's nothing formal of how we have to do it, but it's just, you know, we kind of take a couple months off in the winter, and we finalize our list for the year once all the nominations come in. And then we really meet in January and February, and all we do at those meetings is go down the list and discuss nominees.
Okay. So let me interrupt you real quick. So if you do want to nominate somebody, you probably need to have it in by December.
That would be great. We say the end of January, but we probably ought to move that, to be honest, to the end of the year, because, you know, those first 2 meetings of the new year, that's really all we do. The one in January is more of a loose discussion, and people can ask questions. Maybe they, you know, somebody may be talking about Jackie Moran. They're talking about him. Well, I saw him play. They didn't see him play.
Right.
So, you know, I can give some firsthand knowledge of that. And you know, some of the older people, not that you are a judge, but may have seen people play that I didn't see play back in the 70s. Or,
having a different age perspective matters.
And that's great. It does matter.
So we pass that along. And then the February meeting, we get a little bit more intentional about it. We actually go down the list page by page. And if anybody has somebody that they feel strongly about or has questions about, then we really talk about it then. And when we come in March, we just vote. We ask people to come in and nominate a certain number of people for the initial ballot. We really don't talk about it then. We just nominate. We get a master list, and then we start voting from there.
Well, it sounds like y'all do have it down pat. Especially, I mean, that's very.
We've got a great leader.
Well, absolutely.
Jeff
Hodges does a phenomenal job.
And let me tell you something, man. What Jeff does for Ardmore Sports, the announcing, he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
He's so funny. Every time
he's like the Nick Saban.
Yeah.
He is him. Bret Hart.
Every time I hear you speak, Jeff, and I think I've told you this before, but I've got a cousin named Harold Woodfin, and man, if do you know Harold?
I do.
Dude, if your back's to Jeff and Harold, you don't know which one's talking. In my ears, I don't know about others people's, but y'all sound so much alike. It's insane to me. The Hall of Fame last year when you were doing all the introductions, I couldn't quit thinking about Harold. I just because of your voice. Anyway,
hey,
weird.
Real quick, man, I've always wanted to ask Jeff this question. I get so nervous watching my own kids play, I have to walk away. There's no way. And by the way, I think Lee Hodges is one of the greatest kids I've ever been around in my life. And I ain't saying it because Jeff's here. Nope. But for those you don't know, Lee's awesome.
Yeah, we've talked about
How do you watch your son play golf? That's what somebody said. Me and Jay was talking, and I said, man, there's no way I could go watch that because I'd be going, I need a drink. I mean, I need some whiskey. I need some Jack Daniels right now.
Yeah. That's a great question because
how do you do it?
There's had to be times where maybe he needed that 3-foot putt to get his playing card or win a tournament or make the cut, whatever. Yeah, that's a great question, Clint, because I would be
if Lee wins another major, this is what I want Jeff Hodges to do. I want Jeff to sprint on the course, take his shirt off, and jump in that water. There you go, baby.
There we go.
Well, Judge knows this very well. Most of my friends do. It is very nerve-wracking.
Gotta be.
Now, the strange part to me is if I'm watching him in person, it's not a big deal to me. But
you
if
probably feel like you can not almost do something, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Well,
you're there for something.
I'm very strange, and I know people here think I'm very strange how I handle it. But when I'm there in person watching, but it's home. And everybody keeps up with it on their phone, and I'm very thankful. This area has supported Lee tremendously. And people want to text me, and they want to call and reach out when he's playing. But they know, believe it or not, when he's playing and I'm not there, I never look till he's finished. I never know.
Todd, I've made that mistake a few times and called or texted him. He said, Judge, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
I'm sorry. I was excited.
I've only texted a few times, but it was after the fact.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's more nerve-wracking when you're not there and you don't know what's going on, and you're trying to work and you're trying to be productive, and you can get caught up in it. It can consume you. So years ago, kind of really when he first started playing, I've got as a lot of people do, the app on my phone, and it notifies me when he started, and then it tells me what he shot at the end.
There you go.
Then I'll go back and dissect the card and say,
in the middle,
what the heck happened here? What did we do? Like yesterday when we couldn't get out of the bunker in 3 strokes, it cost us a cut. So,
so how hard is it to not give advice whenever you are there?
I mean, for those that don't know, Jeff is a really good golfer in his own right. He really is.
Well, you're very kind. I don't know about that. We'll go with it today. Anyway,
I can't say now.
Judge gave me a few pointers a couple weeks ago, and I played pretty good after.
Even par.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was your about me giving him advice?
Yeah.
You know, funny thing, these guys are the mental part is so fragile with these guys. Believe it or not, Lee and I can't tell you the last time we actually got in the weeds talking about what happened on the golf course. When he walks off, I'd love to have a conversation with him about that bunker yesterday, but I'm not going to do it. I just don't go there. I tell him good job, on to the next one, and away we go. So we really don't talk a lot of specifics about,
and
about
golf
that.
is such a mental game. Absolutely. I mean, you're playing against other players, but you're playing against yourself as well.
Yeah. I just try to be, positive all the time. I think it was Hogan that said there's no room in golf for a negative thought. And but now Lee, he doesn't like a lot of I was on the bag one time, and we'll get off here. I'm killing time, but I was on the bag. I think I was up in Canada, and he'd asked me to get on the bag for him. Anyway, kind of in the middle of a tournament, weird situation. He said, Dad, I want you to caddy for me over the weekend. He was actually leading the tournament going into the weekend, and I said, Lee, this guy, he said, nah, Dad, this guy, he was a pickup guy he had. He said, I'm having to keep up with him and watch him trying to win. I can't do it. You get on the bag. I said, okay, I will. But he said, now one thing, I don't need a rah-rah guy. I just
He's just handing my club.
Yeah. put up, shut up, and hurry up. That's the thing you do. So
that's a wonderful experience. So
it was fun. But Andrew Medley, that's on his bag now, he couldn't have a better guy. They've got a great connection, and he does a good job.
Proud of Lee, man.
Thank you.
Representing Ardmore, great.
Thank you.
Well, fellas, thank y'all so much for joining us and sharing all the nominees and their wonderful stories. And thank you and the board for all y'all do. Come to another end of another great show. Tim, thanks for lining up everything, man.
Great job driving, Todd.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm sure I had a couple ditches here and there like I always do. But anyway.
Are you sitting or standing?
I'm standing, thank you. You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here on WKC,
Roll
the
Tide.
Big 1080, and Roll Tide.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State Hometown Team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook, The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill on Highway 72 East in Athens, just off I-65. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.